Threads and Threads. My name is Kate. Hello if you're new here. Welcome back if you're joining us again. Today we are going to be doing a video that's going to help me out a lot. I am in desperate need of going through my series, auditing what ones I'm in the middle of, seeing if I want to continue on with them, and literally probably graveyarding a few of them. This has mainly been brought along because I have been attempting this year to do my reading journal, which I have mentioned in a few other videos. I'm by no means overly impressive at it. This is my very first attempt ever at doing a reading journal. I haven't done a lot of the pages, but I want to move in to why we are doing this video, my series tracker. So I do have a spreadsheet that is my series tracker on my computer. We're going to go through that. And in here, I want to put down all the ones I'm in the middle of that I have a possibility or that I've read a book from already. So I need some way to track what ones I've read already. And then as I add in new series, because I don't have a problem starting series, I want to be able to track that as well as keeping going with my spreadsheet that I have, because I quite like my spreadsheet. I'm going to do all these littler boxes and bigger boxes depending on the size of the series. I've been watching so many YouTubers with their journaling videos, and one that I came across was Joy from Psychonautjournaling. She was showing off her January spread, so the books, 9 books that she'd read in January, but she did do a flip through at the beginning of her setup pages, which I'm still in my setup pages phase. I haven't even gotten to February, January, anything to do with actually reading this year. And one of the pages that she showed off was what she'd set up for her arcs, and I did really like it, and I loved the boxes that she designed. So she just used, I think, her Tombos to create this gingham pattern, which I really loved, and then these boxes with these kind of curly corners, which I did attempt to do as kind of a curly corner for my haul, but I really love the style of the boxes, but I thought I could adapt them slightly differently than she has here. So I'm going to do like a flat color up the top and put in the name of the series and the author, and then each box will be listed the series depending on how many there are. Long-winded intro to say, to be able to completely set up this page and to see if I have made enough pages to be able to do this for not only the ones that I'm currently in the middle of, but the ones that I'm about to start as well. I need to know how many I need to be able to fit on here, and possibly, if I can, how many books are in each series. The problem I am going to have is a lot of the time they add on books when I think it's a trilogy and it's just a duology. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do in that case. I might be able to add like a flip down box or something with some scrap. But for now, this is what I'm going for. I will link Joy's page, Psychonautjournaling, down below, so you can go check that out. But if you're interested in journaling, you probably have come across multiple different ways you can do something, but her setup just looked really cool and I really enjoyed it. Anyway, this leads us to my series tracker, which is the point of this video, is to do a series audit on all the series that I'm currently in the middle of too, so we can just go through. I probably have a few that I need to add into this that I have started, so I can make sure that I'm up to date. Either way, this needs to happen, and I need to figure out some kind of system to actually get myself to read a lot of these. We'll run through all that while we're looking at the spreadsheet. So let's get into it and see what we find. Okay, so here is my series tracker. So we did see this quickly in my library challenge video. Sorry, I was just thinking which video it was that I put it up with. So I am obviously going to be looking off to my left. You are slightly on my right as a setup. I can't look at the camera and look at you, but the important bit is the spreadsheet. So we'll focus on that. Sorry in advance for my squeaky chair. I'm working with everything with what I've currently got. The numbers at the top are slightly insane. So let's zoom in so you can have a bit of a hopefully better look. Did that make it? Let's go to 150. How insane a number we actually have. So far in this spreadsheet, there is in total 370 series 52 that I am in progress in, if this is as up to date as I am hoping it is, 12 that I am currently caught up in, so they would need to be included because I am planning on continuing all of them, and then 306 that I want to read. Now, I think I stated in a previous video that I have not figured out exactly how to work this spreadsheet that I have created. I cannot get the filtering to work. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I do need to just watch a few videos, I think, on how to play with Google Sheets properly, but I can't get these filters to do what I want them to. I could just use Excel where I know how to use the sort functions, but I like that I can access this anywhere. And I have a lot in Google Sheets now and just want to get better at it. If you have any tips, any good videos, please let me know. I would love to learn more. This is our starting point. Now, whether I need this many series, we will see. Generally, how I've set it up is they're all numbered down the side because this numbering was wrong. Series title, the author, how many books are in each series, how many I've currently read, how many I have to read, the status that it's currently in. If I know the date that I started the series, I've popped it down here. If I know the date that I finish it, I'll pop it in. So at the moment, if it's caught up, it has a date on the side. The percentage that I've read of that series, and as we scroll over, we list out the books. Now this bit I really like. I didn't just want a number of the series, I want to know the titles. And I do also have little sections in here as well that are generally hidden if there's like book 0.1 or book 5.5 or 0.1.5. So most of the time these are hidden columns, but a lot of them do have books in them depending on the series. If it's this greeny teal color, I've read it. If it's this gentry pinkish color, it's to read. If it's this darker blue, it's been announced and I sometimes do have the actual title for it. It's just not out yet, so I can't read it. Some of these might need tweaking a bit because I think Spark of Fire and Fate might actually be out now. Let me just have a look. Sparking Fire out of Fate. Has it come out? Yes, it has come out now. So we're going to change that one very quickly while I remember to pink. Okay. And then if I DNF a series, it goes this darker purple color. I do then have a couple of spreadsheets tabbed down the bottom here. So this one is my completed series. If I've completed it, it gets moved into this one. And then obviously everything is in that tealy green color. If I decide to DNF a series, it moves to the graveyard. It gets turned into a DNF series, and pretty much just keep track of the ones that I have read and then where I DNF the series. So some of these I have like one book left to read. Some I read a lot, 11 books in that series, and then DNF'd it because I just had enough. But I still didn't want to really get rid of them. They were ones that I did read a lot of stuff for. But yeah, we're mainly going to be focusing today on this first spreadsheet. This is probably going to be a decently long video, so apologies in advance, but thank you for helping me figure out my thinking. All right, let's get started. Over Newton. Isabella Carmody was one of the first series. I remember starting Over Newton back as I entered high school. So in year 8, we were given a challenge to read a book and then compete in kind of like a contest. You had to know as much as you could about the book. And one of those books was Over Newton, and I absolutely loved it. However, I loved it so much that I caught up to the author. The ones that I have read in this series were up until publication of whenever that was. And then it took her 20 years to finish the series off. So to get the last book. So by the time that I realized how long it was going to take for her to actually finish this series, I stopped reading because I was so annoyed. So I have never finished it. So I would like, even though I have read the first 4, I would still like to continue on with this one, probably reread them all. So that one's staying. All of the Romany Feist, I know for sure are staying. I have loved The Magician. All of the Rift War saga has been epic so far, so they will be staying. The Nora Roberts ones that I have on here, I kind of did a bit of a Nora Roberts unhaul kind of situation, and I took out all of the ones that were seeming really romancy. So a lot of her earlier catalogue. The only one that I kept in was Night Tales. I don't know why. That 5-book series just is really appealing to me still. Whether when I give it a go, it will stick around, who knows. Millennium's Rule by Trudy Canavan. I did really like the Black Magician series. I tried her follow-on series for that and didn't like it. This, however, I think is another independent series, so I would like to give that a go. The Old Kingdom by Garth Nix. I read these years ago. I really did enjoy Sabriel, L'Oreal and Abishine. Do I want to continue? I kind of feel like it was fine how it ended. I don't really have actually any major urge to continue on. So I think we will move this one to the graveyard. The only way that I've figured out how to do this without running a script is to just copy and paste. So that is all I tend to do. And then I change this from in progress to DNF series. And then I come back over here and copy and paste all of these. Probably not the easiest way to do it. Again, if you know of a good way to do scripts, please let me know. And then I'm going to pop all of these into our DNF color because I did read up to Abishine. I did, like I said, really enjoy it. If you haven't checked them out, I would highly recommend them. I just think I've probably left it too long now and my interest is gone. We're going to remove that series and then I literally just delete the line in this one and it updates at the top. Not the most impressive way of running a spreadsheet, but it's what I know how to do. Catherine Kerr's Nola O'Grady series. I really enjoy the Devry series by Catherine Kerr. This one is going to be very different because this is an urban fantasy. I think there's only the 4 books in the set. So I do want to give them a go. I did really enjoy her writing style, so they can stay. All of the Bridget Kemmerer that I haven't read, I am very eager to get to, so they can stay. I have only read one Mercedes Lackey book so far. I did really enjoy it, but I never continued on for some reason with that trilogy when I read that one, but I do own all these and would like to try those, so they're fine. All right, let's jump this up a bit. The Wheel of Time. It is the series that is the bane of my existence at this point, I think. I will finish it. I am determined to finish it. I technically still have 3 left, but that's not going anywhere. Black Mage by Rachel E. Carter. I literally only started this one this one reckons I started in 2018. I've forgotten that I had read the prequel. Apparently I finished it. Who knew? But I did read First Year this month, I think. So that I have now continued on with, so that's good. Charlie Davidson, I wouldn't mind continuing on. They're easy. They're nothing awesome, but I am enjoying them. Me Before You. I technically own After You. I have heard that it's not necessarily worth it, and I did really love Me Before You. I thought the book was good. I loved the movie. At this stage, I think we could probably leave it, but I don't know that I'm really overly fussed. Mortal Instruments, Infernal Devices, Dark Artifices, and The Chronicles of Castellane. I want to do them all. I think I will have to reread the beginning of Mortal Instruments, so we'll see how we go with that. I have read 4, but I don't really remember enough, especially of the middle ones. I think the first couple would be fine, but I don't remember enough of maybe anything after City of Glass. I don't remember what happened in City of Fallen Angels at all. So these 3 would probably be okay with maybe not having a reread, but at some point. The Witcher I do want to give a go. I have technically read the first one, Blood of Elves. I remember being confused. So we'll see how we go. I do now own, where did I end up putting it? I think I put it in as a companion novel. Yeah, Crossroads of Ravens is in here as a 0.1. So I do own that. I do really want to read that at some point before June review because I want to use it as a translated book. So that one will stay. Hunger Games by Suzanne Collin. Am I ever likely to read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes? Probably not, but I will keep it on here anyway. It is technically, who knows if she's gonna write anymore. One day I may. If you really think it's, I just was never that interested in Snow's story, really. Mistborn, I have read the first one, Final Empire. I think it actually has now been just published as Mistborn, but I read it when it was still the Final Empire and just never continued on. So I do plan on reading Brandon Sanderson at some point. Stephanie Plum by Janet Ivanovich. I have read the first one. I did quite enjoy it. It was a fun time. I don't remember what I gave it, but even though there is a lot in this series, I have been super intrigued. So I think I will leave that one in here for now. I'm not in a huge rush to get to it, but happy to have it on the list. Nevermore by Jessica Townsend, one of my favorite series. I will definitely be keeping this one on there. At the moment, I am caught up to what she has published, so that is fine. Cormoran Strike by Robert Galbraith. I have read book 1 and watched a fair bit of, I'm just going to hide this again because these are annoying. I've watched the movie TV miniseries adaptations and really enjoyed them. I think I will continue on with those. Iron Fae, I am very eager to get to. I do want to read that. The same with Amy Kaufman's Isle of Gods. It's only a duology, so that one's fairly easy. I really enjoyed the Amy Kaufman I have read, so they will be staying. The Inheritance Cycle. I have read Eragon twice, and I did attempt to listen to Eldest and got bored. So I think I'm going to DNF this as a series, I think. So let's move that. I'm not overly fussed about continuing on with that one. So I think we will pop that in as a DNF series. I think if this had come out, or if I'd read it closer to when it originally came out, maybe, but I'm fine with not finishing this one. And that's another one down. Let me just, where did it go? Up here. Remove this line. We're down to 50 series that we're in the middle of. Go us. Night Angel. I own these. I read the first book, Way of Shadows, as a book group book. I think I put it in the book codes at one point. I did attempt, I think, after that to read Shadow's Edge. Did I love it? No. I will leave it on here for now just because I own it. I will try that second one again and see how I go. I probably would need to reread the first one, which is the bigger issue. Lightbringer, I wouldn't mind keeping. Seven Realms, I definitely will be reading that one soon. I've got that in my February TBR. Quarterthorns and Roses, I will leave that there. Detective Sergeant Adam Tyler, I'm really intrigued to give this one a go. So one of my friends, Michelle, her husband is related to this author. I know that they're related. I can't remember exactly how. And we tried his first book, Firewatching, for our book club book. So she put that in for one for us to read. And I really enjoyed my time with it. So I will be continuing on with that series. I do own a few of those on my Kindle maybe, or my Kobo, one of the two. So that one will stay. Swords of Fire by Melissa Caruso. I read The Tethered Mage and then just never continued. I think I will keep it on for now and see if it comes up. It should be in my game, so we'll give it a go if it does. Prison Healer, the Noni series I definitely want to do. Graceling though, I think I'm one and done. I wasn't overly enthused when I read the synopsis for Fire something or other. So let's graveyard that. What's the second one called? Yeah, Fire. And then I found out that the others in the series, they don't follow on like I'd want them to necessarily. I think I'm fine with not reading any more of this series. Maybe I missed the boat on it a bit. Graceling was good. I enjoyed Graceling, but probably not enough now to continue. So that's going to bring us under 50. Look at us go. Let's go back to the front. And yes, we're down to 49. Woohoo! Possibly a slight light change. Sorry, it was just getting a bit dark in here, so I've put my blind up a bit more. Alrighty, let's continue on. We have now the Bridgerton prequels and the Smythe Smith Quartet. I loved the Julia Quinn stuff that I have read, so they will be staying. The Healer series by Maria V. Schneider. For now, yes, I do want to try some other things of hers. I did really enjoy the first one in the Poison Study series. It's just the later ones that let it down for me. Dream Harbour, I will continue on. These aren't my favourite. They're very insta-lovey in some points, but they're an easy, good time. So I will keep those. Realm Breaker, I definitely want to read. The Imperium, I am caught up with and super eager to get the next one. So they will definitely be saying. The Christmas Bookshop by Jenny Colgan. I did nearly attempt to read the second one of this at Christmas, but didn't manage to fit it in. So for now, we'll keep it. And when we get to Christmas this year, if I don't read it then, we might just do an effort then. Heaven by Mitch Albom. I loved the 5 People You Meet in Heaven, which is shocking for me because I don't usually love any type of religious books, but I find them so intriguing. He has a way of writing about religion that doesn't feel like they're forcing their views on me a lot of the times, and they just make you think. I have really enjoyed what I've read from him so far, so I will keep this one on there, and I do own that second book, so that will be easy. The Bloodsworn Saga, not trilogy, let's fix that. It is a trilogy, but it's called the Bloodsworn Saga. This one I will be starting with the Catch Up Book Club, so looking forward to getting to that. The War of Lost Hearts and the end of Crowns and Nyaxia, I do definitely want to get to, as well as Powerless. Red Rising will stay. Saga of the Unfaded, Callie Hart, King's Curse, Belladonna. All of these I think are okay. Mercy Thompson, I enjoyed the first one. Eager to see if they improve. I gave it a 3-star, I think, but my friend and sister have raved about them for so long. The same with Guild Hunter, so at some point I will continue on. Robin Hood. I have never read any Robin Hood, and from what I can tell, I am missing out. So these would definitely be staying here. Murderbot Diaries. Have I only read 8? I feel like that number's not right. There are little ones in the middle of these. There though. Where are they? So at the moment, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Platform Decay's on its way out. Where's home? 8. There's my 8th. Okay, so it is 8. For now, I probably technically don't need to read those little novellas in the middle, but then they're only like 20 pages, so it'll be fine. I'm very much looking forward to Platform Decay, so when that comes out, I will definitely be giving that one a go. So many columns now. I wish there was an easier way to do that where it didn't have a lot of empty space. So again, if you know some cool way of laying out my spreadsheet that gets rid of empty space, that'd be great. We'll keep that, so definitely want to read that. Mortal Fates. I did enjoy the 2 little novellas that went with this, and I did like The Crown of Oath and Curses. I thought it was probably way too long, but awesome female main character. She is kick-ass. I loved her to pieces. Book 2 is out, and I do own a copy somewhere on some device. But again, it's 600 to 700 pages, so I haven't been super eager to quickly get to it, mainly because the book 3 is not out, and from what I can tell online, maybe isn't likely to come out. It's a bit weird. I don't really know what's going on with that, but I did really enjoy her as a character, so I don't know if I should continue on with that or not. If you know more about that series and whether it's worth me reading the second one, even if I can't get my hands on the third one, let me know. That would be great. I do want to try her other series, Bonds That Tie, so we'll leave that. Legacy, Realm Breaker, Kingdom of Lies, I do want to try. Stacy Stark's other series. I am in the middle of We Who Will Die at the moment. And I'm going to go see Stacia Stark in March, just before I go overseas with my niece. She's coming to Adelaide, so that's going to be great. According to Bristol Keats, I'm going to read the CJ Archer. I have enjoyed the ones that I've started from her, and she's got so many series that I just want to try a fair few. We'll keep all those. Jamie Waters, I think that's the To Kill a Fate, yeah. I want to give a go. They sounded really interesting. Same with all of these. So I've got Chestnut Springs on here, Madison Gate. So a lot of these are ones that I've seen at work or online and just been really intrigued about. So they can all stay. Legends of Thesma and Ashes of Thesma. I own them all. You can see them up the top over there. I just need to start them, but really want to give them a go, as well as the Mortal Enemies to Monster Lovers. Now, technically these are a series that are all done by 5 different authors, but they don't interconnect, and yeah, it's weird. I think like it was just a series that was put out. So I plan on trying all 5. 2 I own, so maybe even 3 now. I own Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent. I own Slaying the Shifter Prince by Claire Sager. And I own, or have a special edition coming of Slaying the Shadow Prince by Helen Schurer. This one has also just been re-released as The Shadow Prince, I think, but I've got the copy coming from Bookish and Spice that will match my other Legends of Thesma series, so that will be cool. So I own 3 of the 5. I think the other 2 should be fairly easy to get my hands on. Spell Shop I absolutely loved, and I have the second book in as my multicolor for her head, so I'll be getting to that soon. I really want to try Sacred Stones, Dawn of Onyx, so I have that in as a potential for one of my other challenges, I think. Looking forward to that. Legends and Lattes, I need to get to the first one of that this month, so that will be good. Chloe Hodges' Cursed Blood. I've read the first one. It was okay. It's only a duology and I own it, so I will be reading Fate and the Damned at some point. Fallen Legacies, I do want to get to. Same with Sacrifice, Dangerous. All of these are definite want to reads. Some more than others. Some I am definitely more invested in trying sooner than others. I think of all of these, the want to reads, they can stay. Feybound, I literally just read the first one. I gave it 3 stars. It was okay. I will continue on. I think actually now, is there a 3rd one in this series that has been announced? Let me just look. There is a 3rd one. It's called Earthbound. So let's pop that in there. Question is it out yet or is it just announced? Let me have a look. It's coming out this year. So maybe I started at an okay time. We'll see how we go. I own an e-copy, I think, of Cursebound, so I can continue on with that anyway at some point, but again, not in a huge rush. Havenfall, I read the first one for book club. It was okay, and it's only a duology, so I think I could just pick up Phoenix Flame at some point and finish that off. So we'll leave that for now. Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller, I do want to try. So again, all of these want to read, I do want to give a go. Dante Valentine, I did enjoy the first one. That was hard to get my hands on. Luckily, one of my friends had a copy of the first one, so I don't know how I will go getting my hands on the rest, but we'll give it a go and see what happens. I have high hopes. The Stonewater Kingdom, I am highly anticipating the next in that series, and I just realized I missed a few. I missed Runebinder. I do want to continue on with Runebinder. I did quite enjoy the first one, so if I can find a copy of Runebreaker, that would be great. Stonewater Kingdom, I am very eager to get my hands on the Knave and the Moon, so that one is definitely not going anywhere. Kingdoms and Empires, I have now read 4 in this series. Look at me go. So I'm 80% done, so we need to mark that one off. I will be reading the last one, The Impossible Secret of Lillian Velvet. Is that what it's called? It must be. This month. So then that'll be a completed series. So that'll be great. Played a Prisoner. I want to give a go. I want to give that a go. Yes, yes. What is Ghost Speaker? Obviously, I thought that sounded interesting. I don't, for the life of me, know what that is right this second, but we'll leave it there because at some point I read the synopsis and thought it sounded good. So now all the want to read, I think, are fairly safe because they're ones that I have either come across or found or anything like that. Legendborn, I have read the first one in that now. I don't know why I didn't mark that off because I've marked it off there. Really enjoyed that, so definitely eager to continue on with that series. Revenant Games, all of these want to read ones I think are fairly safe, unless one jumps out at me that I know that I started and then didn't remove, but I think those are fairly safe. Silvercloak, I am caught up on, and I don't know if they've announced when the next book is coming out. Let's have a look. I haven't seen anything that I remember on... There is definitely going to be a book 2, so maybe we'll just write in here Silver Cloak number 2, so that we have a kind of spot already ready to go. I just don't know when it's going to come out. Favorite with my Lara Celine, I definitely want to do. I am further along than number 5. What am I up to now? I've read book 6. That's what I thought. So I've got 2 left. This Inevitable Ruin and The Parade of Horribles to go with Dungeon Crawler Carl. Again, loving that series. That is not going anywhere. These ones I have literally purchased recently or have a copy from the library, so they are fine. The Crucible by Abigail Owen. I have read book 1 now, so let's mark that as done. I definitely enjoyed my time with that. Book 3, what was that called? Let's have a look. I think I saw that announced the other day, so that I should be able to find a title for that one. I did. The Wrath Gods Reap. So let's write that in there. And I know you're not technically meant to have caps for all words, but in my spreadsheets, I just like the look of it. That one's getting published this year, so that's going to be great. So we'll leave that there. Fateless I want to try. Language of Dragons I do. I'm very eagerly wanting to get to The Wolf King. I think that has actually a 3rd book. So let's change that to 3. I don't remember the title. Let's have a look. The Wolf Queen. That is announced and not out yet. So hopefully that won't be long. But there's 3 in that. Light Lark. I think I've got all of that. I'm pretty sure there's only 5 in that series. I definitely want to get to all of those. Emily Wilde, I've only read the first one, so that's right. Compass and Blade. Sable Sorensen, I read the first one. Do I have Fury Bound in there? I do, and so that's it. I'm super eager for the next one after this as well. So Rights of the Starling, I am counting down the days till we get the next Shorter Sparrows book, so that's going to be great. Those are, now, The Cerulean Sea. I think I'm going to DNF this. Technically, it is a series. There is a 2nd book, but I'm not that fussed about reading that one. I did really enjoy the first one, House in the Cerulean Sea, but I think we're just going to move this series over, and I'm fine with the book that I read. And me DNFing it by no means that that's not worth it, your time reading it. I definitely recommend giving The House in the Cerulean Sea a go. I absolutely loved it. So don't think that I didn't, because I did. So let's delete that and we'll move over, back over. And okay, now for Arcana Academy. I know I have 2 in here, but I don't think I knew the title of the 2nd one when I put that together. So it has been announced now. Prince of Swords. So we'll put that in there. So we're going to make it blue. That's a bit more up to date. I definitely want to read those. Hell's Bells. I really loved Whom the Bell Tolls. Can't wait for the 2nd one. I don't think she has announced that yet. Not that I've seen on anything anyway. No. So hopefully soon though, because I did really enjoy that one. All of those are definite stays. Broken Blades. I did enjoy the first one of that. Have I marked it off? Yes, I have. So we'll continue on with that series. Wild Robot. I'm probably only likely to read the first one because I'm doing it for her kid. But at the moment it is technically a series. So if I really love it, I will continue on. But for now, it's probably only going to be for that challenge. The Merciful Crow is possibly the same thing. I'm going to read the first one. And if I like it, I will continue on. I'm not sure. Green Rider, I have had for years and never gotten to. Same with The Darkest Minds and The Tears of Ardamon. I've never tried Lee Bardugo either. Probably a travesty, but I think she came big in the years that I was barely reading anything. Definitely do want to give her a go. I want to give all of these a go. Obviously, there is so many that hopefully I can get to at some point. All of these, yes, I want to read them. What is The Lost? Oh no, that I've got the first one in. Yeah, I need to read that. The Lorien Legacies. I own all these. I've read I Am Number 4 and then never continued on. I loved that movie. Like, it was so, I just really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the book, not as much probably as the movie, but I own them all now. I do want to give them a go. I probably would have to reread I Am Number 4, even though I've seen the movie a fair few times. But they are always slightly different, aren't they? What else we got? Any others that I have started that I haven't marked off? So really, I definitely am eager to get to Dad's Not Right. That is definitely not the series title of that. That's the Raven Scholar. What is that series called? I don't know how that ended up with a Nora Roberts series title attached to it, but it's the Eternal Path trilogy. So let's fix that. That was very odd. Is there a second one out for that yet? No. I have heard such good things about it. Oh yeah, there is. The Fox in Winter. So let's pop that in. If I haven't already, I may have. I have. Cool. Look at me go. Very eager to get to the first book in that series, though. I will be continuing on with Adrian Young's series. Fable I did quite enjoy, and I have the others out on my Kobo, so really do want to get to that. Oh, and this one up here that's in progress by Emberly Ash. I did really like the first in this series that I read, The Frost Witch. I got that as an arc, I think. But it was such a good time. So I just really was enjoying the premise. Eager to get on with that one when that one comes out. What else have we got? David Dalglish. I have seen these books out so long. Like, a lot of these are ones that I have either had on my radar for forever. I've owned some of the books forever and then just never gotten around to them. So that is my aim with this. Once we've got all this set up done, that I really just want to get to some of these books. Shetland and Vera are very out of my comfort zone reading wise, but watching wise, so as a series, absolutely love them. I like a lot of murder, mystery, British crime series, but I never really tried to read any of them. So that was why I popped those on this one to read list. One day, hopefully I'll get to them. So like I said, I don't read a huge amount of crime, but I'm hoping one day that will change. Alrighty, we're getting down to the ones that I a lot of just want to read now. I don't know that there's a huge amount that I've read. I Love Word is by one of my favorite authors, Anne Bishop. Probably technically my favorite author with the Black Jewels trilogy series that I absolutely loved. This one was a bit more urban fantasy. I didn't love it as much, but I will continue on when she releases the next one. And she usually brings out a book a year, so hopefully that won't take too long to get announced. The City Between. I listened to Between Jobs. Didn't love the narration, but I don't want to hold that against the series. So she is a Tasmanian author. I do want to give the others a go, and I'm pretty sure I can access them fairly easily. I am going to keep this series on there and we'll see how we go with that. What else have we got? We've got another multiple author 5 series one. So this one's Romancing the Worlds. This one, I bought the first book, Courting the Fae Captain, from Fiction and Friction in Mount Barker. I loved the cover that I got, and then realized it's another one of those 5 different author ones, which is fine. I haven't seen any of the others anywhere to even to potentially purchase. For now, I'll start with the first one, see how we go, and see how I go getting my hands on the others. Third season I enjoyed enough to continue on, so I did quite like that. I do have a special edition cover of that I got from Fairy Loot, so eager to see what happens in the next one. Kingdoms and Empires, did I have that further up as well? I feel like I did. I reckon I've got that in here twice. Let me just triple check. So it's at 348. I'm pretty sure that that's in here twice. I'll whiz through this bit. I definitely have it in there twice. Okay, we'll leave just the one up the top and then we will delete the 348 one. Well, that's handy because then that just means that I get one less series. Awesome. All right, we are so close to the end. You can see the bottom. There might be a few that I have to add in. Next one, Game Changers, is one that I have started. I definitely want to continue and read some of the others. I've read 2. So I've read The Long Game and Heated Rivalry. Loved. We'll continue on with that. Never Ever After, I've read that first one. It was okay. I wouldn't mind seeing what happens next. And then these should be ones that I have recently purchased copies of. So the one I'm reading at the moment, we need to add in. That's that new Stasia Stark I showed you before. So that series is called Empire of Blood. At the moment, there's definitely a book 2 announced. I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy or not. So for now, we'll just write 2. It is in progress. I started it, I think, when did I start it? On the 8th of February. So I haven't finished it yet. And the first one is, I can't type today. And the second one, I did just see it announced on Instagram this morning, and I cannot remember what it was called. Let's do a little bit of Googling. We Who Will Rise. I gotta say, I knew I'd seen book 2 announced today. So we'll pop that in as announced. And hopefully it won't take me too long to get to that. Did I see in here the one that I'm reading at the moment? So, yes, Snow Like Ashes. So I have, this is moving to in progress. I'm reading this at the moment. I started it on the 11th, I think, but I'll double check my dates. So I'm reading Snow Like Ashes at the moment. So that is up to date at least. All right, so that's leaving us with 49 series. We did manage to get a few off of the total, but 61 in total that I'm in the middle of that I'm going to need to make space for in my journal. Plus then room for any extra that I do start. Because like I said, I don't have a problem starting series. That's definitely not my problem. But that's been really good. So that, it just gives you a bit of an overview of all the series that I'm currently in the middle of. That is seriously an insane number. 61 series that I in process with. That's nuts. Plus the insane amount that I am constantly starting. But I think that's going to really help me out for my journal, which is great. That is also making it glaringly obvious that I definitely need to do some kind of series just because this is ridiculous. I have really been enjoying watching Becca from Becca Books and Bujo do her spinner series. I don't know that kind of format though will definitely work for me. She's got one where she has a wheel where she spins to start, continue or finish a series, and then they lead to other wheels. I don't have any problem starting series, so I definitely don't need anything that's going to get me to start more series that I'm just picking up randomly anyway. And then when you come to finish a series, there's a fair few that I'm nowhere near the end of, so that's not really going to help. I would always just need a continuous series. So you could, I guess, weight that higher and then as I get through them. So that is, it's a possibility. I think to begin with though, I do love a spinner wheel. I don't know why, they're just so good. So I like the idea of maybe putting all of these series in a spinner wheel and then we maybe read more just from that series in general, so like a couple of books per video and just read from the same series. Or we could do it where we spin the spinner wheel, read a book from one series, spin it again, read it from another. What would you prefer? Like I am happy to do either of those options. I think for some of them we could do maybe similar to what Becca from Becca in the Books is doing, where she's doing like reread and resume. So like she's got to read the first ones and then continue on. There's a couple in here that I definitely need to reread the beginning of, but then there are others that I don't. So I don't know. Any suggestions, please send them my way. I would love to have them. If anything becomes glaringly obvious for you from this, other than the fact that I just need to read more, who knows? I'm happy that we did manage to get a couple into my graveyard. So how many did we graveyard? 3. 4 maybe. So that's 4 that I just really have no intention of continuing on with, so that is good. Yeah, I'm really happy with how I'm going and that I get to continue on with my journal now. Over these with a darker color, the same color shade that I used for the title. For the ones that I have already read, I will need to somehow figure out how to put a little bit of a key. Maybe I can pop it down the bottom here for what that means, and then I need to figure out how I want to color in the square if I read any this year. I'm not sure. I have read most of this series. I've got the 3 left down the bottom. I am annoyed at myself. I thought I'd work this out perfectly. There is not a 4th book in that series, so I don't know what I was thinking. I don't need that bottom one, so I don't know if I should cover it up or put a piece over it and fix it, but fairly happy with how this is turning out so far. Now to do all of the other pages. I have finally finished filling out my series tracker. I'm really happy with how this has turned out in my reading journal. I have made mistakes, which is fine. This is only my first time ever doing a reading journal, but I just like being able to see all of the lists of each of the books, and I have left spaces for a couple where I know that they are planning more of that series to come out in the future. So if it gets announced this year, I have the space to put it in, which is great. And I have decided to mark off in the individual colors, like a deeper purple, a deeper green and pink, if I previously read that book before the beginning of 2026. And then if I've read it in 2026, I'm marking it off in a dark grey. So really happy. It took a lot more pages than I was expecting, but that's fine. I think I'm going to have more than enough pages anyway. I have one more spot left on this page ready for another series if I start one. I think I'm going to leave, I think I've decided on 8 pages for possible new books in the coming year. So it probably is going to be too many, but I'd rather have too many than not enough. So really happy with how that's going. So thank you for hanging out with me, going through my series and just helping me talk it out. I think sometimes just saying things out loud reinforces what I want to do, so that's really handy. So thanks for coming along and joining me if you did do that. How many series are you currently in the middle of? I'd love to know. Are you in the middle of the ones that I'm in the middle of? Let me know what you think down below. If you haven't already and you did like this video, please do consider giving that like button a little click and subscribing if you haven't already. That would be great. You can also find down below my links to my Instagram, my Storygraph, and my Goodreads if you'd like to come and follow me over on any of those. But hopefully you are a little more on top of your series than I am, and that wherever you are just having a really wonderful day. And we'll see you next time. Bye.